Okay, I'm best friends with this girl in college, and I mean best friends. Like, we do everything together, we work together for years, we lived together for a little bit, we went on trips together. Like, she was fully integrated into my life. She knew all my friends. Like, we were as best friends could be. Okay, so she starts dating this guy. Moves in with him. I know him. He doesn't hang out with us a ton, but, like, we know each other. If I saw him at the store, we'd stop and chat, whatever. They start dating. They live together. Great. She starts a new job, and almost immediately she starts talking to me about this guy at her new job. And she's like, oh, I really want to set you up with him. Like, he's so cute. He's so funny. And I was like, okay, whatever, sure. Shortly after that, it suddenly is like, oh, actually, he likes me. And now it's awkward because, like, I have a boyfriend, whatever. And so I'm like, okay, whatever, don't care. But she starts talking about him, and it's like, oh, things are really awkward. Now he likes me. And I'm like, okay. So one night she goes out with her coworkers after work, and her boyfriend, who she lives with, calls me. And it's like 2 a.m. He calls me and he's like, hey, have you heard from her? She went out with her coworkers. I haven't heard from her. Her phone's turned off. Like, I'm kind of worried about her. And I was like, no, I haven't heard from her. I'll try calling her. I try calling her, texting her, checking her location. Like, neither of us can get a hold of her the whole night. Really weird. The next morning, she gets her phone and she texts me, and I was like, what the hell happened? Are you okay? And she makes up this big elaborate story. Her and her coworkers go out after work, and girls gets really, really drunk and, like, blacks out. And so my friend had to take her home and, like, stay with her all night because she was worried about her. And her phone had, like, been left in someone's car, and they left, and so she couldn't get it back. Like, this big story. But mind you, she's my best friend. So I'm like, that's crazy. I believe every word she says. Like, she's my best friend. Of course I believe anything she tells me. So I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Okay, whatever, fast forward. A few months later, she's going on a trip to Europe with her boyfriend and her boyfriend's family. So the Europe trip is she's joining her boyfriend and his family to go on the trip. She texts me one day. She's like, hey, can I borrow some clothes for this trip? And I'm like, yeah, go get them, whatever. I'm not home, but you know where my spare key is, whatever. So she goes over to get the clothes from my apartment, and my roommate was home at the time. Okay, so later I get home, and my roommate to me is like, that's so fun that she's going to Europe. Why isn't her boyfriend going with her? And I was like, oh, he is. They're going with his family. And my roommate's like, no, her boyfriend was with her, and she told me that she's going with her family because her sister's getting married. And I was like, she doesn't even have a sister. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, she's not. No, I was like, I think maybe you misunderstood her. Like, the trip is for his family. And my roommate was like, no, her boyfriend was here and she said that it was her family. And I was like, that's so bizarre. And I'm like, what do you mean her boyfriend was here? What did he look like? My roommate starts describing this man that is definitely not her boyfriend. She's describing the guy from her work. And I'm like, oh, interesting. So I text my best friend and I'm like, hey, did you tell my roommate that you were going to Europe with your family? Like, why'd you lie? And she was like, oh, yeah, it was really awkward. Like, she comes up with this story about how she had told her work, in order to get time off, she told her work that she was going to Europe for her sister's wedding. She's like, he came with me on our lunch break to get the clothes, and so I had to lie because he was there. And I was like, okay, that makes sense, I guess, whatever. So they go to Europe. Her and her boyfriend go to Europe. Okay. At the time, I don't have Facebook, but I'm just a girl. I like to stalk a little bit. So I use my best friend's Facebook to stalk people. She knows that I do this. She gave me her password. Like, it's no secret. It's nothing weird. She knows that I go on her Facebook to stalk people. So one day when she's in Europe, I log on to Facebook, do my little stalking. All of a sudden, a chat pops up. And it's like a live chat, right? So the chat pops up, and before I really realize what's going on, I'm seeing the guy from her work message her. And then in live time, I'm seeing her message back because I'm on her on her Facebook. So I'm seeing the chats as they're coming in, like they're live chatting. I miss you. I can't wait to see you. Oh, hold on. My dad's calling for me. Like, she's saying, oh, my dad's calling for me. She's saying, oh, my sister needs to do my hair. Like, she's fully fabricating this story about her being in Europe, and I'm reading her cheating on her boyfriend with this man. And I'm like, this is so awkward. Like, this is so awkward. She's fully lying, like, and I'm watching it happen. And I'm like, okay, great. Now I have to talk to her about it. Like, that's so weird. I can't just pretend like I didn't see this. Okay. So she gets back from Europe and I'm like, this is so awkward, but I have to bring it up. She's my best friend. I can't avoid her. So we have tickets to go see a concert. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. Like, we're going to go to dinner before, and I'm just going to bring it up. I'm going to just tell her what I saw, see if she wants to talk about it. So we go to dinner and I'm like, hey, this is really awkward, but like, I was on your Facebook. I saw these chats. Like, are you good? Like, what's going on? Because also in my mind, I'm like, she must be going through something. Like, this probably sucks for her. Like, it's probably stressful to cheat. I don't know. Anyway, I'm trying to be like a good, understanding friend. So I bring it up to her at dinner, and I'm like, hey, I saw these chats. She tells me that she comes up with this story about how her and her boyfriend actually broke up. They actually broke up on the trip, but they had to like fake it and keep it together for his family because they didn't want to make things awkward. And so when she was messaging him, that the messages that I was reading, she was single. And I was kind of like, okay. And like, to be honest, there were some things in the messages that maybe she forgot about, or maybe she didn't know how much I read, but she clearly was lying to my face. Like, I told her a little bit of what I knew, and she just lied. She didn't tell me the full truth, but I knew more because I had read the messages, whatever. So I was kind of just sitting there being like, this is so awkward, because how do you sit there and tell someone, like, you're still lying? Like, I know you're lying to my face. But I just was kind of like, okay, whatever, this is so weird. So I just kind of let it go. I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Like, sorry you're going through this, whatever. After she knows that I know that she had been doing these things kind of get weird. So she tells me she's broken up with her boyfriend, but they live together. So I'm like, okay, are you going to move out? And she says, no, our lease isn't up for however many months, so we're just going to stay in the lease together. And I was kind of thinking, that's so odd. Like, I'm sorry, there's no way that a guy, like, he could have paid the lease himself. There's no way that he's asking for her half of the rent when they're broken up. Whatever. I just was kind of like, that's weird, whatever. But according to her, they are broken up. Fully broken up. She starts bringing this new guy around. Like, when we do stuff with not even our friends, because red flag, she didn't really have any other friends. So when it was my group of friends. And so when she would come, she would bring this new guy, like fully broken up with her ex. Starts bringing this new guy around. As far as anyone's concerned, that's her boyfriend. I start getting a little suspicious because things are not adding up. Things are kind of weird. My spidey senses are peaked at this point. So I look at her ex-boyfriend's Instagram, Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day rolls around. One of my friends runs into her and her ex-boyfriend at Target. And my friend, who had kind of known all this was going on, texted me about it and was like, I ran into her and her ex at Target. She was really dodgy. Like, it was really weird. Aren't they broken up? And I said, yeah, but they still live together. Things were weird. And this was right around Valentine's Day. So I go to her ex-boyfriend's Instagram to do a little bit of recon. Her ex-boyfriend posted a picture on Valentine's Day of the present that she had gotten him. And I thought to myself, that's weird. If you're broken up, regardless if you're living together, if you're broken up, why are you buying that man a Valentine's Day present? And even more, why is he posting about it? Even if it was just like a nice, friendly, we still live together, let's still be cordial, he's not going to post about it. He posts about this Valentine's Day present that she bought him, tags her in it. I go to her Instagram, no tag. She had deleted the tag from her tagged photo. So I'm like, you are lying. You're not broken up with him. I know it. So at this point, things are really weird. Things are really awkward. And at the point where I can't fake it anymore. So I'm just kind of avoiding her because I just am uncomfortable. I know I have to bring it up to her, but like, oh, it's just so awkward to tell someone, your best friend, you're lying to my face and I know you are. So she sends me an email one day. A little bit of context to this email is that she and I had gone on a trip to Southeast Asia. We were there for 3 weeks right after we graduated college. And on that trip, we met these two boys that were from the UK, and we spent like several days with them in Cambodia traveling around with them. So we became friends with them. I was single at the time, so one of them, he and I spent some time together. And then her and his friend, like by default, were kind of like also spending time together. I was feeling bad this whole time because I kept feeling like I was ditching her with him because she had a boyfriend. But we would like, the four of us would like go to dinner, go get meals, whatever. And she and the friend were like more flirty and touchy and cuddly than me and this guy. And I was single and she had a boyfriend. And I remember just kind of being like, this is so awkward, but okay, whatever, you do you. And she was just like, oh, it's just fun, whatever. The guy that I had been talking to, he and I like stayed friends after the fact. We went our separate ways after a few days, but we kept messaging and stuff. He kept telling me, oh yeah, they're hooking up. When we were in Cambodia together, he kept saying, oh yeah, like those two are hooking up. And I was defending her too. I was like dying on this hill. I was like, they are not hooking up. She has a boyfriend. And this guy is telling me, you're insane, they're hooking up. And I'm like, no, she just fell asleep in his hotel room. Nothing happened. No, we just lost them at the temples all day long. That was my fault. Like, I ditched her. I felt bad. No, they had made their way back to the hotel. Like, I was defending her to my death. This guy is like, they're hooking up, you're crazy. And I'm like, no, she has a boyfriend. She would not do that. Come to find out, I was wrong, whatever. So we come home from that trip. I am still messaging this guy that we had met, and he starts giving me information about our two friends, my friend who has a boyfriend and his friend, that leads me to believe him. That I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, damn, he actually is telling me the truth. She's lying to me. So I have this in the back of my mind that she fully lied to my face about hooking up with this guy. But I kind of just, it's not my, I don't know, it's not my business. Like, I get it. She's probably embarrassed. She doesn't want to talk about it. So I don't really bring it up to her, but it is in the back of my mind. So then when this whole thing with this other guy happens at her work, I kind of am already like, damn, she kind of just lies to me though. Like, maybe now I don't really believe her. So it had been a few weeks. I had been kind of distant from her because I was working up the courage and the nerve to say something, but I don't know how. So she sends me this email, and it's just a really nice email, basically saying how good of a friend I am, how much she appreciates me and loves me, whatever. So I read that email and I'm like, okay, this is my opportunity. Like, I have to bring it up now. I email her back. It's really long, so I'm not going to read all of it. But basically what I say is, I said, listen, I know I've been distant. I am having a lot of doubts and questions lately, and I'm wondering if I'm getting the full truth about some things. It makes it really hard for me to feel open and free to talk to you as much as I'd like to. Like, I'm clearly being distant, clearly being weird, and I'm trying to offer her some context. I feel like there's some facts about your boyfriend and the new guy you work with situation that I don't know. I said it's completely fair and your prerogative to not share everything with me, but it does make me standoffish when I feel like I'm being lied to. Like, it's not my business. If you don't want to tell me that you're cheating on your boyfriend because you're embarrassed, I get it, but you can't be confused then if I'm taking some space, because how can you have a relationship with someone that's lying to your face? Whatever. So I'm kind of like, it's okay if you don't want to tell me, but this is why I'm being distant. Because I kind of feel like you're lying to me. Me gaslighting myself. I said, honestly, I'm not sure why I have so many doubts. I don't have anything concrete to base this on. So I'm apologizing to her because I think she's lying to me. This girl had been lying to my face and gaslighting me for probably a year at this point about all these boys, all these weird situations that I keep calling her on. She keeps lying. And I'm sitting here being like, look, I'm so sorry that I think you're a pathological liar. I just have a feeling. And I feel bad about it. Anyway, so I'm like, I'm really sorry. I don't have anything to base this on. It's just a feeling that I've had for a while. Then I bring up the Cambodia guys. And I said, I think it started because so-and-so mentioned that you and the friend got closer in Cambodia than you had told me. That's when my doubts came in about things you were telling me. I really didn't expect for you to lie to me about it. I understand it's not my business. I also would hope that you know and trust me well enough to know that I have no judgments and that there is no truth that would be worse than being lied to. Like, we are best friends. So if you can't tell me these things, I don't know. That was kind of I was trying not to take it personal, but I also was trying not to attack her. So I was trying to say, like, maybe it's me. Maybe you don't feel comfortable with me. Maybe I'm not a safe person. So I was kind of trying to give her the benefit of the doubt, give her the opportunity to whatever. So then the Cambodia thing, I said, since Cambodia, my doubts have been magnified and I find myself in a constant battle, wondering if I can trust and believe the things you tell me. So when I see your ex post a picture about a Valentine's Day present that you got him, and when I don't trust that the new guy knows that you went to Europe with your ex last summer, it's really hard for me to fully believe the narrative that I've been given. I'm sorry if this isn't the response you're wanting. I've been wanting to find a way to talk to you about it. I know I've been distant. That's not fair to you. This is what's on my mind. This is why it seems like I'm being distant, not because I want to end our friendship, but because I can't fake like everything's okay. Of course, I'd love to listen and support you if there's anything you want to talk about. At this point, too, I'm like, damn, this girl's living 3 separate lives. She's lying to me, she's lying to her boyfriend, and she's lying to her new boyfriend. Like, she must be stressed out of her mind. So I'm sitting here thinking, damn, she might need someone to talk to. So I'm trying to give her the opportunity. Look, I know all this. I know that you're lying to my face. I know that you're cheating on multiple people. And I'm giving you an olive branch to just tell me the truth and, like, let's be friends still. I said, look, I value our friendship. You've been my ride or die for years. I'd hate to lose that. Just know that I love you, and I'm sorry if any of this is offensive or coming off judgy. Please know that isn't my intention. I never heard from her. She never emailed me back. So I waited probably 2 weeks, and then I texted her and said, hey, just checking in. I sent you an email. I don't know if you saw it. If you did see it and it upset you, I would love to talk about that. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. Never texted me back. Never emailed me back. Unfollowed me on socials.
Story time about why I decided to leave my ex-husband. Keep in mind, before I left him, I was having all of these really gut-wrenching feelings in our apartment. I had left town for about a week and a half because I had gotten my gallbladder removed. And we were fighting, and he told me that he couldn't take care of me and all this stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be with family to process everything and decide what I want to do with my life. And I literally couldn't sit up out of bed on my own, and he said that he was not going to be there to help me. So I was like, okay, I need to go get some help because, come on. So the whole time that I was home with family and had left and everything, he completely ignored me. I could not get a hold of him. No matter how many times I tried to call him, text him, no response. So I was spiraling because I was like, okay, at this point I hadn't asked for a divorce. I hadn't officially left. I just had left because I just got my gallbladder removed, and I was spiraling. I was like, I can't even get a hold of my husband. This is not okay. This is not healthy. And I start spiraling because I'm having all these gut feelings that he's bringing a girl to our apartment. He's cheating on me. What is happening? I finally got a hold of him one night, and he answered my FaceTime call. It was probably a 5-minute phone call, and he probably said 2 words the entire time. He just stared at me. There was nothing in his eyes. He just was looking right through me, would not say a word. And I was like, can you just talk to me? Can you communicate with me so that we can figure out what's going on? Why are you so upset? Why, what is happening? He was really upset that I went home to be with family because he's like, well, I should be taking care of you. And I said, well, I don't understand because you just told me you couldn't take care of me. So I decided to go home. I was like, dude, what do you want from me here? When I finally realized that he was not going to talk to me, was not going to communicate with me, I just said, okay, I love you. And he just stared at me. Guys, I kid you not, he just stared at me. I'm not even exaggerating. And so I said it again. I was like, I love you. And he just stared at me. And I was like, why can't you say I love you? And he ended up just hanging up the phone. He never said I love you. So I texted him and I was like, why can't you say I love you to me anymore? Why is that so hard for you? And he said, I'm trying to love you, but it's just so hard. When I tell you my heart shattered into a million pieces, no woman wants to hear that, especially from their husband. And so at that point, I just basically cried myself to sleep because I'm like, okay, can't get my husband to talk to me whatsoever, so we can't work through this. We can't communicate. He just said that it's hard to love me. What the hell am I supposed to do? I had just gotten my gallbladder removed. My health was at the worst place possible. I literally, at this point, through all of the abuse within the relationship and stuff, I had just literally lost myself, felt like a literal shell of myself, and I just was so lost. But at this point, I still didn't know if I was gonna get divorced. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I honestly think that he wanted an out, but he didn't know how to do it, which he did tell me that one time before. He said that if we ever get divorced, you're gonna have to be the one who leaves me because I don't have the guts to do it myself. Excuse me, sir? Who the hell says that? What? And when he said that, it's not even we were talking about divorce. He just randomly was like, yeah, if we ever get divorced, you're going to have to be the one who leaves me because I'm not going to have the guts to do it to myself. Sir. So I truly believe at this point he was just trying to make my life so incredibly miserable so that I would leave. There was one night that I literally felt like I was just praying to God and just kind of wrestling with God, tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. And I remember just feeling a ton of peace. But just feeling like I needed to stay home with family a little bit longer. And I knew that if I told him that, he was going to be super upset because he was already pissed that I was even home with family. He was so upset about it, which I think was the main reason why he decided to give me the silent treatment and not talk to me. But come on, grow up. I told him the next day that I was staying longer. No response. He was upset at this point. I was just whatever. Then the next day I was like, okay, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go home because, I just felt like I need to go work on our relationship. I need to figure this out, figure out what I'm going to do. So I go back to where we were living. Keep in mind, the whole time that I was home with family, I hadn't had a panic attack at all. I go back and get in the car with him, and immediately my body starts freaking out. Like, I feel like my throat is closing. I start like full on just panicking, like panic mode. When I got in the car, he was not even happy to see me, which no one knew that he was like this behind closed doors, because as soon as we would get around people, he'd put on this face and be his bubbly, happy self. But then as soon as we were behind closed doors and in private, like, he would just shut down and just like be so pissed at me and couldn't get a response out of him. And so it's like no one knew this was happening, but it was so manipulative. So at this point, I'm back in his presence. I'm having a full-blown panic attack. Like, my body's literally responding. My body was quite literally rejecting him. I remember after that panic attack, I was like, I just had this feeling like that's my answer. I can't do this anymore. And I just remember being like, no human should have to live like this, in this much stress and misery, and like not even feeling safe around your partner. And I remember walking back into our apartment. Keep in mind, I had been gone, like I said, for like a week and a half at this point. And I go back into our apartment and I just felt sick. Like, I felt like I was gonna vomit in there. I did not want to stay the night there. I felt physically ill. And I just had this gut feeling that someone else had been there when I was gone. And you guys, like, I can't even describe the feeling. I just felt so ill. My mom was there and I told her, I was like, I think I need to get a divorce. I'm just like sobbing. And she was like, because she didn't know anything that was happening behind the scenes. My mom and my ex-husband did not get along, though. They did not like each other. That was very clear. But my mom was in shock and she's like, okay, let's call your dad. So I call my dad sobbing, tell him what's going on. And he basically said, like, we'll support you in whatever you choose to do. But he said, and this will always stick with me, he's like, the Lord does not expect you to be miserable. Which gave me peace too, and just knowing like, this is not how marriage should be. This is not from God. If it was, then it would not be abusive, manipulative. It would not be causing me this much stress and chaos in my life. So at that point, that was kind of the boost and the reassurance that I needed from my family. They weren't saying, yes, get a divorce, but they basically just said, we'll support you in whatever you decide to do. I stayed in a hotel that night with my mom because I could not step foot in our apartment. It made me ill. And then the next morning, I packed up my stuff and I left.
I really do think sometimes the universe be testing me, because tell me why my boyfriend and I, yesterday we went to the movies and we had a crazy experience. I've only had one weird experience at the movie theater. Never wanted that to happen again because it was scary. But this other one was just like, why? So yesterday my boyfriend and I decided to spontaneously go to the movies because I was like, let's go watch Sinners. Oh my god, like, everybody's saying it's so good. Like, I really want to go watch it. And apparently they extended the time, how long they were going to keep it in theaters, because of how good the movie is, and it's actually really, really good. So pretty much we got there, everything was cool, we sit down, the movie started like 5 minutes ago, and then we hear this loud group. I don't know if it was 4 or 3 people, and of course they have to sit right next to us. I was sitting already next to a girl because it was like her and her partner, I think. And then it was me and my boyfriend. Boyfriend was the one who had to sit next to one of them. So I didn't see them. I didn't even look at them. All I just heard was that they were super loud. And I was like, oh no. Let's hope that they're not loud throughout the movie. But I was wrong. They came in when it was already like 10 minutes into the movie. They came in loud as hell. And then they proceed to talk super loud when they're sitting down in a normal like volume. And I'm like, you're at the movie theaters. Why did you come if you're not even gonna watch and not let other people enjoy the show? Like, if you don't want to watch the movie, it's fine. And I'm not the type to ever say anything to people. Like, I'm not like that, but I was just so upset because I couldn't hear the movie. And then this girl right next to my boyfriend, she proceeds to pick up the phone, and she's on the phone, on FaceTime, by the way, with her friend. And she's at the movie theaters, and her phone is loud, and she's loud. And so she's on FaceTime. They've already been loud for the past like 20 to 30 minutes. And I was just getting really upset because I'm like, I know my boyfriend's not enjoying the movie right now, and because I'm not enjoying the movie. So I told my boyfriend after, when she was on the phone, I just got so angry, and I was like, I'm literally about to say something, and like I said, I'm not like that. So I was like, you know what? I was like, let's get up, and I look up, like down from where we were, the row we were sitting at, and there was nobody below us. So I was like, let's just go sit down there. So I literally was like, come on, let's go. And I'm telling you guys, I never do this. Like, I'm the shy one in the relationship. My boyfriend's the one who will usually be like, you know, like, if you're not comfortable, like, let's go, let's do this or whatever. So this time I was like, you know what? No, like, I can't do this. Like, I really can't. So I was like, let's go. So I moved my chair and I was like, excuse us. And like, they weren't even moving their feet really as quick as I wanted them to, because I was like, I'm literally just trying to get out of your guys' space. We go ahead and we sit in the front row. They are being even louder, guys. Like, I'm not kidding. Even louder. That couple was still there. I don't even know how they watched the movie. I'm gonna be honest, because I was in the front and I literally could barely hear anything. And then they start talking about Wingstop flavors and that they were gonna go and get Wingstop. So one of the girls, I think, or one of the persons that was with them, they leave and they go get Wingstop. They go and get Wingstop. By the way, this is already like, I think the movie's like 2 hours. So let's say it's like an hour and 20 minutes into the movie. Because Wingstop takes a while to give you your order. Especially, I think it was a lot of them. So they probably ordered a lot. I really don't know. And I don't even know how they allowed her to bring it in there. And while she was gone, they were quiet. They were not that loud. But when she came back, that's when it got even worse. Which was already towards the end. So it's like, whatever. Came back being so loud. She yells to her friends at the top of the movie theater. By the way, she's all the way at the bottom of the stairs. She's like, oh my god, guys, you won't believe what happened to me. And I was like, we're still watching the movie? Like, the movie's still going. The movie's literally about to end already, right? She comes out with the wings and she's being so loud. Literally, they're being so loud now that she's back. And the guy like was talking to her like, oh, you start at 2 p.m. tomorrow, like work, whatever, shift. And by the way, my boyfriend, I didn't even know this. My boyfriend was like, I knew it was gonna be a problem when I saw them pull up with the buzz ball. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, they had a whole bottle, like a huge thing of buzz ball. And they managed to get it into the movie theater. I don't know how. I literally don't know how, guys. But they managed to get that Wingstop in, so I don't think it was that big of an issue. They proceed to be loud. The movie ends, and tell me why. The girl literally, I didn't even look back, but I already know by the sounds of it. She was twerking because she was like, hey, hey. She was literally twerking in the movie theater. Like, I am nobody, like, I am nobody to judge. I don't like to judge. But, bro, you're in public. Like, like, that's crazy. And, I mean, thank God the movie was done. But everybody looked back. Like, I kid you guys not. That was so freaking loud. And, like, her friends were laughing and all this stuff. And everybody was just, like, looking up. And I would just look at everybody's reaction. And they were just like, what the heck is going on? Yeah, that was absolutely insane. And I swear, me and my boyfriend always experienced the weirdest things ever. And no, they were not teenagers. They were adults. They were grown-ups. And they were acting like that.
Am I in the wrong for exposing my coworker who faked a pregnancy just to get a closer parking spot? I, 30 female, work at a large corporate office where the parking lot is a nightmare. If you don't get there super early, you're stuck parking in the overflow lot, which adds a good 10 to 15 minute walk to the building. There are a few reserved spots up front for expectant mothers, a nice perk if you genuinely need it. About 4 months ago, a new girl, Tina, 27 female, joined our company. Within a few weeks, she started parking in the maternity spots. She didn't make any big announcements about being pregnant, but she dropped little hints, rubbing her stomach, complaining about cravings, talking about baby brain. She started wearing baggy, flowy tops, but honestly, she didn't look noticeably pregnant. Still, nobody really questioned it because, well, who wants to risk being the jerk who doubts a pregnant woman? At first, I just thought, good for her, she's making life a little easier while growing a human. But then I overheard her laughing with one of her close friends in the break room. She joked that parking in the maternity spot was the best scam ever, and that being single and child-free was exhausting enough without having to hike from the back lot. My jaw dropped. She admitted that she wasn't pregnant. She was just using the maternity spots for convenience. I sat on it for a couple days, feeling conflicted. Part of me wanted to mind my own business. Another part of me thought about actual pregnant women struggling to find parking because someone was lying to get a closer spot. In the end, I anonymously reported her to HR. Turns out, they investigated, asked her for a doctor's note to continue using the maternity parking, which she obviously couldn't produce. She was issued an official warning for dishonest behavior and told not to use the spots again. They even emailed the entire company a reminder that those spaces are reserved only for legitimately expectant mothers with medical documentation. Tina found out that someone had reported her, and although she doesn't know it was me specifically, she's been in a foul mood ever since. She's made passive-aggressive comments like, "Some people just can't mind their own damn business," and has recruited a few coworkers to ice me out socially. Some mutual friends are split. Half say she deserved it and I did the right thing. The other half say that I was petty, that it wasn't hurting anyone, and that I should have just let it go. Now I'm wondering if I overreacted. I didn't do it to be spiteful. I honestly just hated seeing someone cheat a system meant to help people who genuinely needed it. But